No. Flip it now, flip your book now to ask without me panic. Can you hand your work before you go? So back to today's lesson after talking about submission of work. Last week we started our ALS lesson. This is a quick recap of what we experienced last week. So all the different experiences we had the ALS, we had some running, we had Jane running outside the class, and then a whole bunch of us, a whole class of us, some of us didn't, but we went outside the basketball court on Friday. And then we also did the booklet twice, right? Okay, and all those things, all those experiences. So last Friday, I took some pictures of what some of you wrote. Well, and I said, well, we're not going to do the 10 rounds in NAFA run, but you can do the extra rounds on your free time. And essentially, what about the activity was to realize that decimals are very near around us, all around us. It's very real, and the relationship you put with the different quantities that you experience, the time, the running, the distance, gives you the previous chapter that we have done. So, and I wanted us to focus a bit more on the operations and calculations we may need for this coming chapter, which may be a bit dry because there are a lot of calculations. But at the same time, we will consider if you put every calculation to a situation, it becomes very relevant. Okay, so just move on. Some of your friends writing. Okay, and this is Bing Zing. He wrote there a bit more. He wrote there, you want to use division to find one round and subtraction to find the difference between the timing you take for 2 different rounds, and use addition to find the total. Well, okay, so that aside. So as I shared with you the first day I met you in this term, I told you my favorite guy, my favorite maths guy called Archimedes. He's the one who designed a lot of fancy gadgets a long time ago. And he's the one who, from the bathtub, came up the term Eureka. And then you see this young little fella that Disney came up with, Disney Junior, called Eureka. And it's really cool because he was like having ideas and thinking about how ideas can be transformed into something useful. So I think it's a series. I didn't quite watch it though. You still watch it? The younger kids tell me about it. 5, she's 5. Do you watch it? You know, you didn't? So anyway, essentially is that, well, it's like learning maths is like understanding how the world works and how we can make it better. Well, so that's the focus part. Now, talking a bit more about the focus and effort. So we have started the SLS ALS system. And last Thursday, because Wednesday we had your health check. So on Thursday we did the ALS, and I gave an instruction for you to have your textbook. Do you have it? Yes. Show it to me now. And my instruction for your textbook is, okay, guys, you know the ALS, right, is quite personalized. It's customized and reacts to how you respond to the system and how you choose different challenges. So, like previously, like here, this part here, a bit tiny, can't really see it, but this, I just snapped the picture from there. You have the challenge, guided learning, right? And then you have your path of completion. Now, if you think about it, it's a bit like the game that you know what show is this from? Jumanji, right? So over here, this states the rock having some strengths and weaknesses. Okay, in this game, he doesn't have weakness. I'm sure he has some kind that is not stated, but he says all his different strengths. And I was trying to tell you that, okay, now that the ALS is so personalized, it's time you understand what you're doing. So last Thursday, I gave you an instruction of, now look at your content page, right? And then you have all the different learning objectives. So I said, start marking out those you feel good about. And then I think Sana heard it, and she can even explain to everyone what that meant. But I don't see it happening in action. Anybody did? No. Yeah, I don't see it happening. So as a result, I decided that to come up with something to help us do it better. By the way, are you on Google Classroom with Manon Chua? Yes. You are, okay. Anyway, so I started our Google Classroom here. So let me change the meeting, new share here. So yeah, I have my new class here and I posted the assignment here. I think tomorrow, when there's more time, we'll do the onboarding on my group. Oh, sorry, because my P4 class is 4E. Sorry, let me change the name. Okay, so I haven't got a nice picture to put up yet. My other classes, this is a bit big. My other classes have a picture. So my 4E has a picture here. Yeah, that's my 4E. Oh yeah, maybe you can put up the one on any show. Anyway, so I put out an assignment here that we can each make a soft copy of it, but I'll give it a hard copy today. Okay, so let's go back to here. Right, so there's this new template that I'm going to give it to you. Okay, to help you feel that you are the master of yourself in learning this tool, this topic on decimals. Well, when I was looking at the platform, I realized there's whole numbers and percentage. Now, I clearly told you guys don't do the percentage yet, right? Because we are not there. But I think that whole numbers is there. So after discussing with some of the teachers, I thought, hey, actually, since it's SLS, you can freely access it from home, right? And whole numbers is a chapter that you already did it, right? Correct? Right? So it's good for revision. At home, you can log on to SLS and then do the whole number segment as well. Your own free time, your own on time, on target. But so I put in the whole numbers as well. Okay, and then there's this decimal part. Now, every time you do an SLS, the ALS task, it will tell you actually what skill you are trying to tackle. Clear the table now. Clear your table now. And things that I want on the desk, things that I don't want to see, put them away. Otherwise, I'll bring the dustbin next to you. This is week 4. Almost a month you see me. You cannot behave like it's the first time you see me. Okay, so all the skills here is for you to understand what you are learning. Now, there are 4 levels that I place here. Level 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, level 1 says, I'm starting to get it, but I am still confused. Okay, level 2, I'm learning, but I don't have it yet. I can do it if I look at an example or ask for help. Okay, level 3, I can do this on my own without help. I can show that I understand. Level 4, I can explain how to do it. I can even teach someone else how to do it. Okay? Can you understand level 1 to 4? Yes. Okay? Now, this thing is this. Here says what you need to do is to write down the dates you have attempted to achieve that skill. Each skill can have more than 1 date of attempt. Like today is not the start actually. We already started. So let's say tomorrow you take out your ALS, you log into your ALS. You realize some of them you already completed. Then you think about it. At this stage, which level you think you are? Is it at level 3 or level 4? Then for the particular skill, let's say addition or decimals, you think you are at level 2 tomorrow and you start up, or even today. Today is 18 July, so I write 18 July there. Now, at the end of Thursday, if you feel I finished the task and I also completed the workbook that's on addition or decimals, and I feel so confident of it, then the next day, I can have 20 July on the same row. Can you understand what I'm saying? Okay, and there's no correct or wrong answers here. It's just writing down the dates. Can you understand? Not tick, not smiley face, huh? You don't tick, tick, tick and smiley, smiley on this, huh? It's writing? Writing? Dates. Dates where you try it out and what you feel about it. Can you understand? So at the end of this whole term, these papers should be filled with different dates. And each skill can have more than one date. Okay? Understand? Because you are like playing game, you're achieving one level each time. Can you understand? Okay, good. Yes. Of course. It depends on you, because if you like I said, yesterday, tomorrow we log on the ARS. The ARS system says, congratulations, you have reached the level of competence. Achieve this skill. Then you just very happily, you just go to level 3. Or you feel really confident. Miss Lim right now tell you, record a video of you explaining how to do addition of decimals. Then you say, I can do it. Then you are straight away here. Why not? Okay. Now, this is like an honest understanding of how I'm confident of this, or not so confident of this, and help us move on with getting better at the chapter. Is that okay? Now, to help you with this, the things that you must have. Zhenxing, your table is full of things as well. Can you sort out yourself? You want to wear your spectacles or don't want to wear your spectacles? Can you arrange your things now? So you have your textbook, your workbook, your journal. Okay. If you like, you use the hard copy. I know some of us are so IT savvy that when you use the ALS system, you want everything on the laptop itself. Then tomorrow you do the online copy. I'm fine with it. Okay? All right. And then to revise on your whole numbers, beyond your ALS, you can always go back to the missions on 2 weeks. Is that okay? Okay, huh? Okay, later on there, I'll give you the hard copy of the template. Now we go on to our activity today. Now the time is so short, only can do the one activity. Actually got 2 activities I planned. Okay, well, I really like this slide because I got it from another teacher next door, Miss Ma, my good friend. Because it says here, numbers behave the same way. So decimals is one kind of number. And well, we'll talk more about the relationships as we go along. And also this slide I thought is quite fun. It says all whole numbers have an invisible decimal point. Well, we will be discussing more about this in time to come as well. Let's go on to today's task. Skip. So there's an individual work and there's a group work that I wanted us to do. Pause. Okay. Now, the group work was actually this. Okay. We were going to complete our workbook, pages 1 to 2 and 3, and come up with tips to share on how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide decimals at P4 level. And you know I have a P4 class as well, right? So I will be using your tips to teach my primary 4 students. Okay? Okay, before we carry on, I really mean serious. I'm not too sure whether you are aware, but I think most of you are already. Nicole said she shared it with the class group already. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, so if you are interested, you can pop by my channel and you'll see your recording and also some of my lessons I have in my 4E class on decimals. So there was a lesson that we really cut the bread. Okay. And we were chopping up bread in the class to learn about decimals. It's been more than a week. It may be moldy now. I don't think you want to eat the moldy bread. Okay, so you can check it out. Now, and actually last week, what we did in class for the P4 children is that we tried to get different students to record how they go through. So like, for example, you can see this now on like there's different students. You have Rakshan, my class 4E, Shalini and Aidin explaining how they solve problems. Okay, so that's his hand. And then he's explaining. Oh, I muted, is it? I cannot hear, don't know why. So later go and check.
Sorry, decreasing.
Okay, anyway, you can go back and see. And well, actually, if you notice, she actually made a mistake here. But like I said, we always welcome mistakes and we learn from the mistakes. The most important part was about sharing how we do it. Okay, so anyway, so I really mean it that I want us to be able to use these ideas. You create some tips for my P4 students to do. Okay, so shall we go with the first part first? Your individual work, I'm not going to give you 20 minutes. 20 minutes, I think, is too much already. I think 10 minutes will be enough. Okay, 10 minutes for page 1 and 2 of your workbook. Let's go. Page 1 and 2 only of your workbook. Okay, it's recall for P4 stuff. I give you 4 seconds extra to flip your book. Page 1 and 2, write it neatly, please. he did it without working. That's one of the things. So agree already, right? You know, if you don't show working, you got it wrong, it's a straight 0. Right now. But the next problem he has is that he writes some working, but the working has no operation. How's that? All pens on the table, cover your book. No need to you to do any more writing. Cover your book. Look at me now. Okay. So I said, hey, no operations is a problem. You don't know the teacher who is looking at your work or marking your work will not know whether you are doing plus, minus, times, or divide. Only you will know. If you got it wrong, it's still going to be wrong. Now, okay, I'll tell you a bit about tomorrow's task. Tomorrow, before we do the ALS, I want us to complete this. Now, what does it mean by come up with tips to share on how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide decimals? I give you an example here. For example, on this piece of paper, so tomorrow you will receive this as a group. Diane has one already, and who else? I give one. Brendan has one. So let me give you an example of what this is. So for example, do you recognize this question? No. Yes. Hello. Don't be so quick to answer. Look first. It's in the book, right? Question number 1. Now, some of you wrote the answer already. Now, so if I am going to share this with a primary 4 student, okay? Okay, what do you think are some of the difficulties a primary 4 student will face? So I wrote down, okay, yes. Very good point. So, what Benzing said, they will think that 10 is the first place and then 1 is the next place. But then come to this question, there's no 1's place. Right? Okay, that's what I like about what he said. That's very, very good. Okay, so some other examples I wrote there. Okay, maybe count the number discount only. Okay, maybe confused with place value, like what Benzing said. Don't know which one is this. Or don't know how to write it correctly. Miss out the decimal point. Do you agree? Some of these common problems, right? Now, what is one tip I can share with a primary 4 student? So I draw this. Okay, my tip is maybe you can draw a place value map to help. Can recognize? Yeah. Can recognize? Yeah. Can recognize? Yeah. Okay, right? Yeah. Okay, so this is one example. So tomorrow, as a group, you're going to fill in those ideas for addition, subtraction, like especially this one. Okay. Multiplication, division, and rounding before we do the ALS. Okay. And then lastly, your homework is page 1 to 4. So you've already completed to page 3. Congratulations, only 1 page left. Okay. If you haven't finished page 1 to 4, you only finish out to page 2. Yeah, okay. Never mind. Go back and do until 4. Is it okay? Can? If you finish everything already, you can go on to the SLS, do the ALS on whole numbers, like I said. Okay? All right. Thank you, class. See you tomorrow. And Mr. Just say teachers, Mr.